number 4 seed. So essentially, these are the final 2 teams that will win their divisions to clinch the first 4 seeds. That is the Miami Dolphins for the AFC out of the North. Or are they in the North? Yeah, I guess they are in the North. That's kind of weird. And then also, too, the NFC South, the Falcons. So I'm going to talk about the Dolphins, of course. This will be McDaniel's 3rd year with this Dolphins team. This will obviously be I believe it's his 4th year now with the Dolphins. And then again, this, I think, will be a very big season for the Dolphins because the last 2 seasons, they do the same thing. Start off hot, being the biggest offensive juggernaut team in the NFL, putting up literally Madden-like video game points. And yet towards the end of the season, whether it's injury, lackadaisical play, whatever the case may be, just fall off and have very poor endings to the season where they are then the outside looking in. Fortunately, they did make the wild card the last 2 seasons, but very quickly bounced. First season they made the wild card was due to injury, of course. They had, I think the kid's name is Skylar Thompson, who filled in for Tua, who was out injured. And then last season they were just outplayed. They just weren't able to hang in the wild card, which is unfortunate. But I think this season is going to be very different. I think they're going to take the crown, the division in this one. I don't think the Bills are going to win it just because I'm a little apprehensive with the Buffalo Bills because of losing Stephon Diggs. I think Sean McDermott is on the hot seat this season, so I think that's going to play into it. I don't know how strong their defense is going to be. So I have a lot of questions about the Bills. And again, I'll talk about this a little bit later on this particular topic, but I feel like the Bills are going to take a step back. I don't see them winning the division in the structure they are just because I feel like there's a lot of turmoil within that team. So that's why I have the Dolphins winning this division. I feel like the Dolphins are better than the New York Jets. I feel like the Jets are another team that has a lot of turmoil, a lot of distractions, which are going to prevent them from being a very good team. I think on paper, they would do really well. They should, in theory, be like an AFC threat. But with all the drama that we've heard in this offseason with Aaron Rodgers, again, he tore his Achilles literally play 4 of last season. So he missed all of last season. We really don't know the type of Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. We're all assuming he's going to be the same Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. But nevertheless, not even being on the field, he's been a pretty big distraction last season and now this offseason. And hopefully he comes into the regular season healthy on this go around. And hopefully this Jets team goes well. But I feel like Miami is the complete team that is going to secure the AFC North crown.
Drew Code Sports Talk is supported by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is your go-to app for tickets, making it super easy to find the best deals. They even rate each ticket deal on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting your money's worth. And as a special thank you to our listeners, we've got a promo code just for you. Use Drew Code at checkout to get $20 off your first order. That's $20 off your first purchase, whether it's for the game that you've been dying to see or that concert that everybody is talking about. Head over to SeatGeek now, find your perfect seat, and use Drew Code for $20 off your first order. SeatGeek, get your tickets to the action today.
Now, moving on to the NFC South, the reason why I picked the Falcons is because, one, Raheem Morris, new head coach. I think he's in the DeMeco Ryans kind of head coaching style for me, where he's a very tough coach, gets the best out of his players. When he was the interim head coach for them, this is a couple of years ago, I think when they fired Dan Quinn, he filled in interim. They had a winning record with Raheem Morris, but didn't retain him for some reason. And now Raheem Morris was over in the LA Rams team for a few seasons. But now that he's with the Falcons spent a lot of money to sign Kirk Cousins to another big contract. Granted, he was also injured last season from an Achilles injury. Now he's going to come back. I want to say Kirk Cousins is 36 or 37, and he's coming off of a huge injury. Is he going to be the same player? Falcons also have great weapons, all things considered, with tight end Kyle Pitts, Drake London as their receiver. Obviously, Bijan Robinson for their running back, who is this all-world. Their defense is, I think, going to be very, very good, especially now with Morris running the show over there. Their defense was pretty good last season, and now I think it's going to be even better, and they've added talent along with that. So I think the Falcons are the best team in the South. I don't think it's the Saints. I think the Saints are on notice to have an implosion of a season. I think Dennis Allen is going to be out of there before the end of the season. I think they will have a regression offensively. I think defensively, they'll be I don't want to say the worst. They won't be a very good team that they should be with what's in place. I feel like they're going to take a big step back, and this is probably going to be a season where we might see, and I'm not advocating for this at all. It's not what I want to see. I'm just saying this is what it feels like as we get into the start of the season. Is I feel like this could be a season where we see Derek Carr benched. I feel like this is a season where we could see Dennis Allen fired in the middle of the season or late into the season. I feel like this is a season, and it gives me the feeling of this defense is going to go through a lot of frustration because they should be better than they are, but they're not getting any stops. In fact, they're giving up a lot of points, and they're being exposed in certain aspects of the defense. So that's when I get this feeling when it comes to the New Orleans Saints and why I don't think that the Saints are going to win the NFC South. Buccaneers, I don't trust their offensive line enough. Baker Mayfield if Baker Mayfield can duplicate what he did last season, yeah, this Buccaneers team has a really good shot. However, I'm concerned with also too. I think that their head coach is also on the hot seat. That for some reason, this team doesn't play its hardest for their head coach. And again with Baker Mayfield, if Baker can just do what he did last season, I think this team's in really good shape. But I think there's just a ton of question marks of whether or not they can. Their offensive line, like I said, is not very good, not very healthy right now. So that's going to be really tough when it comes to their, obviously to their run blocking scheme for, run action, play action. And then also too, if Baker Mayfield isn't what he was last season, how productive is Chris Godwin going to be? How productive is Mike Evans going to be? I'm not saying that the Buccaneers are on a team that I'm more worried about than the Saints. I think the Saints are a team that I'd be very worried about how the season is going to play out for them with all that I've mentioned. But I don't think the Buccaneers are a team to worry about when it comes to the NFC South as well. And then I'm forgetting what the other team is in the South right now. See, we have New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay. We have Atlanta. What's that last team? Carolina. That's probably why I forgot about him. I wouldn't worry. I do think Bryce Young's going to have a better second season, but Carolina, not even in the realm of the discussion. So we'll just cast that aside. So needless to say, that is exactly why I have the NFC South being won by the Falcons, giving both Dolphins and the Falcons the fourth seed in their respective conference.